9 out of 10 car buyers think they already know which Japanese brand saves them the most money over time. They are wrong. The brand sitting at number 1 on this list is not the one you are thinking of right now. I analyzed purchase price, depreciation, fuel costs, insurance, maintenance, repair frequency, and long-term reliability across all 12 Japanese brands, and the results genuinely changed how I think about every single one of them. Number 12 is a total ownership disaster. Number 1 is the last brand you would ever expect. Let us kick things off. Number 12. Scion. Let us start with the most painful brand on this entire list, and the one that proved a single corporate decision can completely destroy the financial equation of owning a perfectly good car. Toyota launched Scion in 2003 as a youth-focused sub-brand, built around affordable pricing and unconventional styling. The XB, the TC, and the FRS built genuine followings. Owners loved their cars, and then in 2016, Toyota killed the brand completely. That decision turned every Scion on the road into an orphan overnight. Resale values dropped immediately and sharply. A car that held reasonable value the week before the announcement became significantly harder to sell at fair market value the week after. Buyers shopping used Scion suddenly had legitimate concerns about parts availability, continued dealer support, and whether values would keep falling. The answers were not reassuring. Dedicated Scion owners who planned to resell took depreciation hits that had nothing to do with the quality of their vehicles and everything to do with a corporate announcement they never saw coming. Beyond depreciation, the parts ecosystem supporting Scion specifically has thinned considerably since the discontinuation. Insurance costs on orphaned brand vehicles run higher in certain markets than equivalent vehicles from active brands. The FRS is a legitimately excellent driving machine, but total cost of ownership includes every dollar that flows in and out of the ownership experience, and the brand discontinuation introduced financial risk into every Scion equation retroactively. That puts Scion at number 12. The next brand on this list is very much alive and still selling cars today, yet it somehow manages to cost owners more in depreciation per year than almost any other active Japanese brand on the market. Number 11. Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi has been building cars for over a century. They produce genuinely iconic vehicles including the Lancer Evolution, the Eclipse, and the Pajero. They also carry one of the worst depreciation curves of any Japanese brand currently selling in the American market. Here is the ownership reality on a new Mitsubishi. The brand carries significantly lower consumer confidence scores than Toyota, Honda, or Mazda. That lower confidence translates directly into faster depreciation, because resale value is driven almost entirely by how many people want to buy a used version of your car. When fewer people want it, the price falls further and faster. A new Mitsubishi loses a disproportionate share of its value in the first 3 years compared to the segment average, meaning owners who buy new and sell within 5 years take a financial hit that erases any savings they captured on the original purchase price. Reliability data tells a complicated story. Mitsubishi models show higher than average repair frequency on certain platforms, particularly around transmission-related issues and electronics. While their powertrain warranties are among the longest in the industry at 10 years, or 100,000 miles, warranty coverage only helps you if the dealership network is strong enough to service the claim efficiently. In many regions, Mitsubishi dealer density is thin enough to make warranty service genuinely inconvenient. Fuel economy on most Mitsubishi models is competitive at the time of purchase, but tends to fall behind class leaders over time as the powertrain accumulates wear faster than higher quality alternatives. Over a 5-year, 75,000-mile ownership period, the combination of aggressive depreciation, higher repair frequency, and weak resale makes Mitsubishi one of the more expensive Japanese brands to truly own. If depreciation is the main enemy of Mitsubishi owners, the next brand on this list has a completely different problem, one that has nothing to do with the quality of the cars themselves. Number 10. Suzuki. Suzuki makes excellent products. Their motorcycles are world-class. Their compact vehicles in global markets deliver outstanding reliability and real-world fuel economy. And yet for American buyers, Suzuki lands at number 10 for one reason that no amount of engineering quality can overcome. They left the United States passenger car market in 2012, and that exit turned every Suzuki on American roads into a parts and service challenge that gets harder every single year. True cost of ownership is not just about how often a car breaks down. It is about what happens when it does need a repair. When a brand exits a market, the dealer network disappears. Independent mechanics who stocked the knowledge and specialized tools for that brand move on. Parts become harder to source domestically and increasingly require importing, which adds cost and lead time to every repair job. Insurance companies, unfamiliar with the risk profile of vehicles they rarely see, price coverage higher on orphan brands. For a Suzuki owner in the United States today, a repair that costs $400 on a Honda or Toyota can cost significantly more simply because of limited parts availability and the shrinking pool of mechanics confident working on the platform. That cost premium compounds over years of ownership and can negate every advantage the low original nominal purchase price provided. Globally, Suzuki remains a smart ownership choice in markets where they maintain an active presence and dealer network. But this ranking reflects the true cost of ownership in the American market specifically, and the lack of infrastructure after the brand exit makes Suzuki difficult to recommend for anyone prioritizing total ownership costs today. The next brand never left the market, thousands of dollars for well over a decade. Number 9 is Isuzu. Isuzu stopped selling passenger cars in the United States in 2009 after years of declining sales. They continue selling commercial trucks and maintain a fleet market presence. But for the consumer who bought an Isuzu Rodeo, Trooper, or Axiom in the late 90s or early 2000s, the ownership math has become increasingly painful over time for exactly the same reasons as Suzuki. The dealer network that supported Isuzu passenger vehicles is essentially gone. Parts that were once stocked domestically now require sourcing through specialty suppliers or international channels. Independent mechanics with direct experience on Isuzu-specific platforms are retiring from the industry faster than new ones are trained on systems they will likely never encounter again. Every year that passes makes a routine repair on an older Isuzu slightly more complicated and slightly more expensive than the same repair on a vehicle from a brand with an active market presence. What keeps Isuzu off the absolute bottom of this list is the mechanical reputation of certain models. The diesel engines used in commercial applications built a legitimate reputation for durability and extraordinary longevity. Several Isuzu platforms from the 90s and early 2000s are still running at high mileage with reasonable maintenance costs for owners who either maintain them personally or have found one of the remaining specialists. But for the average buyer completing a cost of ownership analysis today, the infrastructure gap is too significant to overlook now. The next 3 brands on this list are all very active in the American market, but the first of them charges luxury prices for service without consistently delivering the long-term reliability that would justify those elevated costs. Number 8. Infiniti. Infiniti is Nissan's luxury division, launched in 1989 to compete directly with Lexus and Acura. For most of their history, they have occupied an uncomfortable middle ground. They charge luxury prices for parts and service, but they have not consistently delivered the long-term reliability that makes those elevated costs feel like a reasonable trade. Here is where Infiniti owners feel the pain most directly. Maintenance costs at an Infiniti dealership run significantly higher than at a Nissan dealership, even for vehicles that share substantial mechanical components with Nissan models. An oil change that costs $60 at a Nissan dealer costs $90 to $110 at an Infiniti dealer for a vehicle using essentially the same engine. Multiply that premium across every service interval over a 5-year ownership period, and you are paying a meaningful surcharge purely for the badge on the service department door. Reliability data on Infiniti models is inconsistent across the lineup. Certain models and engine combinations have performed well over high mileage. Others have accumulated documented patterns of issues with timing chain tensioners, valve timing mechanisms on some V6 engines, and electronics that generated significant owner frustration and costly repair bills. When those problems arise on a vehicle with luxury tier labor rates, every invoice reflects that premium pricing even for issues that are fundamentally routine in nature. Depreciation on Infiniti models is also faster than Lexus, their most direct competitor. A 3-year-old Infiniti loses more of its original value than a comparable Lexus over the same period, meaning owners absorb luxury-level service costs while their asset depreciates at a rate closer to mainstream vehicles than luxury ones. And yet the next brand somehow manages to cost even more per year to maintain, despite carrying a stronger reliability reputation than Infiniti across most of their lineup. Number 7. Acura. Acura is Honda's luxury division, and in terms of mechanical reliability, they carry a significantly stronger record than Infiniti. The engines and transmissions in most Acura models are refined, proven, and capable of substantial mileage with consistent maintenance. So why does Acura land at number 7 on a true cost of ownership ranking? Because reliability is only one piece of the total ownership cost equation. On virtually every other dimension, Acura's luxury positioning creates costs that quietly erode the savings their excellent reliability would otherwise deliver. Parts pricing on Acura vehicles runs 30 to 50% higher than equivalent Honda parts, even when the underlying components are shared directly between platforms. A timing belt service on an Acura V6 costs considerably more at an Acura dealer than a comparable service on a Honda engine in the same configuration because the labor rate, service interval pricing, and parts cost all reflect the luxury positioning of the brand rather than actual mechanical complexity of the work. Insurance premiums on Acura models run higher than on equivalent Honda vehicles across most coverage categories. Depreciation, while better than Infiniti, moves faster than Toyota or Lexus over a standard 5-year ownership period. Where Acura genuinely consistently earns its reputation in total cost of ownership is on the unexpected repair side. Acura owners face fewer surprise repair bills at high mileage than Infiniti or Mitsubishi owners at equivalent mileage, and when repairs are needed, quality and durability of the work tends to be high. Over a 10-year high-mileage ownership period, Acura becomes significantly more cost-competitive because the strong reliability starts to offset the higher routine service costs in a meaningful way. But for the average 5-year owner, the premium costs outweigh the reliability advantages. Acura sits at number 7. If this breakdown is changing how you think about your next vehicle, hit that like button right now and subscribe so you never miss a video like this. 1. We are halfway through the list and the results are only going to get more surprising from here. Number 6. Nissan built some of the most respected vehicles of the 1980s and 90s, the Z-Cars, the original Pathfinder, the hardbody truck, the first-generation Maxima. These were legitimate segment benchmarks that earned Nissan a reliability reputation that carried the brand forward for decades. That reputation has been living on borrowed time since the mid-2000s, specifically because of one mechanical decision that has cost Nissan owners more money collectively than almost any other single engineering choice in the modern automotive industry: the CVT transmission. Nissan adopted continuously variable transmissions across most of their lineup beginning in the mid-2000s, and their specific CVT implementation developed a pattern of failures that generated class action lawsuits, extended warranty programs, and a reputation among mechanics and long-term owners that is genuinely difficult to defend. CVT replacements on affected Nissan models cost between $3,500 and $5,000. The failures most commonly occur between 80,000 and 120,000 miles, which is precisely the mileage range where owners have paid off the vehicle and are counting on years of low-cost transportation in return. The financial damage from a Nissan CVT failure is not just the repair cost itself, it is the timing. A $4,000 transmission replacement on a car worth $8,000 at that mileage puts every owner in a genuinely difficult position. Pay the repair and trust the replacement unit to last, or surrender the car at a point where they have already absorbed maximum depreciation but not yet reached the low-cost years that make high-mileage ownership financially rewarding. Nissan makes excellent vehicles outside the CVT-equipped portions of their lineup, but the breadth of CVT application across their model range means most Nissan buyers carry this specific risk throughout their ownership. That exposure is enough to push Nissan to number 6. The next brand carries a passionate community and a celebrated all-weather reputation, but a specific mechanical legacy has given them a higher maintenance cost than their enthusiastic owners typically expect going in. Number 5. Subaru has built one of the most passionate and loyal owner communities of any automotive brand in the world. Standard all-wheel drive across the entire lineup, a distinctive boxer engine that sits low in the chassis for a lower center of gravity, genuine capability in snow, rain, and on unpaved roads. The Subaru identity is strong, the community is real, and the cars deliver on their core promise consistently. So why does Subaru sit at number 5 with a higher true cost of ownership than Honda or Toyota? 2 words that Subaru owners from a certain generation know all too well: head gaskets. The EJ series boxer engines used in Subaru vehicles from roughly 1996 through 2011 developed a well-documented pattern of head gasket failures, typically occurring between 90,000 and 130,000 miles. Head gasket replacement on a Subaru boxer engine is a labor-intensive job due to the horizontal cylinder layout, requiring full removal of components that would remain in place on a conventional engine design. The repair runs between $1,200 and $2,000 at most independent shops, and meaningfully more at a dealership. Many owners of that generation faced this repair once and sometimes twice over the life of their vehicle. Subaru has addressed the head gasket concern in their more recent FA and FB engine series, and current model reliability data is meaningfully better than the EJ era. But the residual effect of that legacy still influences resale values on certain model years, and the higher than average oil consumption some current Subaru boxer engines exhibit continues to generate incremental maintenance costs and owner frustration. Beyond the engine considerations, standard all-wheel drive adds mechanical complexity that translates into higher drivetrain service costs over time compared to front-wheel drive alternatives at equivalent mileage. The next brand is one of the most respected names in the entire automotive industry, but the true cost data reveals a small and consistent gap between their legendary reputation and their actual ownership numbers. Number 4. Honda sits at number 4, and for many people that placement is going to feel wrong. Honda carries one of the strongest reliability reputations of any any automotive brand in the world. Consumer Reports, J.D. Power, and independent long-term reliability studies consistently rank Honda among the very best. So why are 3 other Japanese brands ranked above them on a true cost of ownership list? Because reputation and actual ownership cost are 2 different measurements, and Honda has earned a small but consistent premium on both sides of the equation that adds up meaningfully over time. On the purchase side, Honda commands a higher transaction price relative to direct competitors in most segments. A Honda Civic or Honda CR-V consistently sells at or near full MSRP in most markets because demand is high and Honda dealers rarely need to discount to move inventory. That higher entry price means more total capital deployed from day one and higher monthly financing costs over the ownership period compared to brands with equivalent reliability but lower sticker prices. On the maintenance side, Honda parts and service costs run higher than Toyota across most service categories. Not dramatically, but consistently. An independent analysis of scheduled maintenance costs over a 5-year, 60,000-mile period shows Honda running approximately 8 to 12% higher than Toyota for equivalent service items. Over complete ownership cycle, that difference becomes meaningful when totaled. Where Honda genuinely earns every element of its reputation is on unexpected repair frequency. Honda owners face fewer surprise repair bills at high mileage than almost any other brand on this list. The engines and transmissions in properly maintained Honda vehicles are genuinely durable, and owners who hold their cars past 150,000 miles are frequently rewarded with years of low-cost transportation that gradually recaptures the premium paid early in ownership. The next 3 positions are where things get genuinely surprising. Number 3. Lexus. Most people expect Lexus to rank lower on a true cost of ownership list because luxury has always been expensive. Higher parts costs, higher labor rates, higher insurance premiums, higher everything, and on a per-service basis, all of that is accurate. A routine Lexus service at a Lexus dealership costs more than the equivalent service on a Toyota. But true cost of ownership is not calculated service by service. It is calculated across the entire ownership period. And over a complete ownership period, Lexus changes the equations entirely by nearly eliminating the variable no owner can predict or budget for reliably, the unexpected repair. Lexus vehicles sit at the top of long-term reliability rankings in virtually every independent study that tracks them. Consumer Reports has ranked Lexus as the most reliable brand overall more times than any competitor in the history of their automotive. Reliability surveys J.D. Power long-term dependability data tells the same story year after year across the entire Lexus lineup. Owners at 150,000, 200,000, and even 250,000 miles report maintenance costs that owners of comparable luxury brands would find remarkable. The reason is Toyota engineering sitting underneath every Lexus model, refined further, assembled to tighter tolerances, and subjected to more rigorous quality control before delivery. When you account for the dramatically lower unexpected repair frequency over a 10-year ownership period, the premium on routine service costs becomes far more manageable in the total picture. Lexus owners who hold their vehicles for 10 years or more frequently find their total cost of ownership comparable to mainstream brands, with the additional benefit of driving a genuinely luxurious vehicle throughout the entire period. That combination of quality, longevity, and long-term cost efficiency is rare anywhere in the automotive market. So if Lexus delivers this kind of total ownership value at number 3, what 2 brands could possibly sit above it? Number 2, Toyota. Nobody is surprised to see Toyota near the top of a true cost of ownership ranking. Toyota has spent decades building a reliability and durability reputation backed by more real-world ownership data than any other automotive brand on Earth. A Toyota Camry or Corolla with 300,000 miles on the odometer is not a novelty. It is a common sight in most American cities and towns. Toyota's total cost of ownership advantage operates on every measurement axis simultaneously. Purchase prices are competitive. Depreciation is among the slowest in the industry, meaning owners recover more of their initial investment when they eventually sell or trade. Insurance rates on Toyota models average lower than comparable vehicles from most competitors because insurers understand the reliability and safety data behind the brand. Parts and service costs are moderate and accessible through an enormous national network of dealers and independent mechanics, deeply familiar with Toyota platforms. An unexpected repair frequency sits among the lowest of any brand in the world. The cumulative effect of all those advantages compounding together over 5 or 10 years of ownership produces a total cost of ownership figure that is exceptionally difficult to beat. Toyota owners consistently report that their vehicles delivered more miles of reliable transportation per dollar invested than they expected, even when those expectations were already high before purchase. So why is Toyota at number 2? Because the brand sitting at number 1 beats Toyota on nearly every single cost metric, and almost nobody outside the automotive research community is paying close enough attention to notice it yet. Number 1. Mazda. This is the result that surprised me the most when I completed the full ownership cost analysis, and it is the result that I expect will surprise the majority of people watching this video right now. Mazda beats Toyota on true cost of ownership. not by a dramatic margin, but consistently, across multiple ownership periods, multiple model lines, and multiple independent data sources, Mazda delivers a lower total cost of ownership than Toyota, while simultaneously offering a driving experience that automotive journalists almost universally consider more engaging than anything Toyota sells at equivalent price points. Here is how the numbers work in practice. Mazda purchase prices run consistently lower than Toyota in most direct segment comparisons. A Mazda 3 versus a Toyota Corolla, a Mazda CX-5 versus a Toyota RAV4. In virtually every direct head-to-head comparison, the Mazda carries a lower starting price and a lower average transaction price in the real market. That lower initial investment means less capital tied up from day one and lower monthly financing costs over the entire ownership period. Depreciation on current Mazda vehicles has improved dramatically over the past 10 years as the brand moved decisively upmarket in design quality, interior materials, and overall perceived value. Current generation Mazda models depreciate at rates very close to Toyota across most segments, and in several categories the gap has closed to the point where it is no longer statistically meaningful. Reliability data is where Mazda truly earns the #1 position on this list. Consumer Reports reliability surveys have ranked Mazda as the most reliable brand overall in multiple recent survey years, including years where their scores placed above Toyota. JD Power data tells a consistent story of very low repair frequency and very high owner satisfaction across the entire Mazda model lineup. Independent repair cost databases consistently show Mazda owners spending less per year on unexpected repairs than Toyota owners at equivalent mileage. Mazda also uses naturally aspirated engines across the majority of their lineup, deliberately avoiding the additional mechanical complexity and cost exposure that comes with turbocharging. Simpler, well-engineered powertrains maintained correctly last for extraordinary mileage with low repair incidents, and that mechanical simplicity translates directly into lower lifetime repair costs. Fuel economy across the Mazda lineup is class competitive or class leading in most segments, which compounds over years of ownership and tens of thousands of miles into meaningful savings. Insurance rates on Mazda models are low, reflecting the strong safety scores and low claim frequency that insurers factor into premium calculations. Add it all together: lower purchase price, competitive depreciation, industry-leading reliability, low unexpected repair frequency, competitive fuel economy, low insurance costs. The total ownership cost picture for Mazda is the most favorable of any Japanese brand when every variable is included and calculated honestly, and the car genuinely rewards you every time you drive it in a way that most of the competition simply does not. The one area where Mazda concedes ground to Toyota is dealer network density. Toyota has more dealers in more locations, which creates more competition on service pricing and easier access to warranty work and routine maintenance wherever you happen to be. That gap is real and worth factoring into your decision, but it is not large enough to overcome the advantage Mazda holds across every other ownership cost dimension. Mazda is the best total value in Japanese automotive ownership right now. The data is clear. Most people just have not noticed yet. Hey, thanks for watching. If this breakdown changed how you think about your next vehicle purchase, let us know in the comments below. And if you do not want to miss more data-driven car buying guides like this one, hit that subscribe button right now.